Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And Surya, can you confirm that I'm correctly sharing my screen?
Yes, thank you. We see the sign-in page.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So yeah, this is the staff sign-in screen. Parents will have a separate sign-in page, but here is where as a staff member, you can go ahead and sign in with either an email password or a Google account. I'm just going to go ahead and sign in with a Google account very quickly. Select FSUSD, and we're now signed in, and we are on the dashboard page. On next to the menu, we can see just a quick overview of what location I'm associated with. In this example, I'm associated with Crystal Middle here, and next to that, we can see a calendar with a month, week, and day view of the sessions associated with this location. So yeah, let's go ahead and now navigate to the session that we actually want to launch this the student self check-in and out kiosk for. There's a couple of ways of navigating to a session. Probably the easiest is just using this calendar widget to go ahead and select the session. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on example program green. That's probably the easiest way. But another way of doing it is from the program page. So from the left-hand menu, I'm going to go ahead and select programs. We see an overview of all the programs for this location. We can filter by location and other information. Then we can select the program, and then from here we can select the day that we're interested in. So that's the other way of navigating to a session. But again, probably the easiest is just straight from the calendar. Any questions about how we can navigate to a day's session before we move on to launching the kiosk or anything like that?
Adrian, just from a kind of workflow perspective, given these devices are going to be set up for the high school students to sign in and out. So the team will basically have a tablet, laptop, whatever device is being provided by the school at the location. They'll log in using their staff account, and then you're leading us through for every day, essentially each day of program that students are going to sign into. That kiosk will be launched on that daily basis to associate with the correct date of session.
Yeah, thank you so much for that added context and zooming out, Surya. Yeah, so basically the workflow is exactly what Surya just said. So we'll be doing this on an iPad. So basically you would just quickly sign in on the iPad, then you would select you would navigate to the session that you want to launch the kiosk for. And the easiest way is probably, clicking on the calendar for today's session. And from there, you'll be launching the kiosk for that session, which I'll just go ahead and continue on to do right now. So once you select the session, you're going to click Launch Student Attendance Kiosk. And then, so we're actually now signed out, and we can now leave this for students to sign in and out for the day. So any questions about what we just did or anything else before we move on to a couple of examples of checking in and out? Through two quick examples. As we can see here, the student will just enter in their student ID to check in or out. So I have an example here. I have an ID of 180-007. I click search, and so this brings up Bradley Brent. Bradley would just select themselves to confirm, and then confirm that you actually want to check in. And then we'll just do another example of another student ID. So this is Nairobi. Nairobi would select and check in. And just as easily as checking out, they would just enter in their student ID again. So let's say Bradley, the first student, wants to check out. So they'll enter in their student ID, search, select themselves, and not confirm that they want to check out, and confirm they want to check out. And again, we'll just do this really quick for Nairobi. Select, search, and check out. So that's essentially the very straightforward flow of how a student would check in or out. They would just enter the student ID, select themselves, and confirm that they want to check in or out. Any questions about that before we go back to the admin side to look at attendance information?